Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. I'm Jim, and happy to say the other Mono's here this week. And welcome back, Stephen. Welcome
back. It was a nice trip up to the space station for the past couple weeks.
That was great.
I took the Tesla up to the International Space Station.
Did you learn to speak Russian and Chinese and all that?
It's nice to be back on the show. Hi, everybody.
Excellent. Welcome back, Stephen. We missed you. So it's September 12th, 2020, right? Summer's over. The summer that wasn't.
Well, technically, It's not over, but yes, post-Labor Day for all intents and purposes.
Beautiful weather again. Like we were kind of getting repetitious. We've been saying that we said San Diego weather in New Jersey for a while.
Right.
It's great. It's absolutely awesome. So welcome back, everybody. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We talked about a couple months ago. We didn't know what this was going to be like this time of year, and now we know. Sports are full-fledged, right? Football starting, playoffs, and NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball's getting down to the wire already. 2.5 weeks.
Right. I mean, this is unprecedented with all the activity going on. I mean, Stanley Cup, what are we in the semifinals or the conference finals? And that's heating up, and the NBA is... they're about to hit their conference finals too, and
we're going to get into each one a little bit more. But I just wanted to say, the COVID epidemic is still with us, but games are being played. Clemson plays tonight. College football's back on the schedule.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame play.
Members of the ACC, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a little surprising.
Actually, the Fighting Irish are a 21.5-point favorite against the Duke Blue Devils.
Okay.
In their first ACC contest.
Right. So that's happening too. So, first of all, I want to say our first segment is sponsored by Coriano Trucking of Haverstraw, New York. And as you know, week after week, they're a loyal supporter of the show.
They are.
And we thank them very much.
Thank you, Guy.
So before we go into specifics, Steve, on the individual sports and so forth, right? Let's just recap what we talked about last week. Last week was the Kentucky Derby. 'Tis the Law going for the second leg of the Triple Crown.
Yes.
And we had Authentic on the show last week to cause some noise, if 'tis the law, and it turned out to be a great race, right? These two battled it out down the wire, and 'tis the law couldn't catch them.
Down the stretch they come.
That's right.
That was a down the stretch they came.
It was. It was a great race, and unfortunately, we're not going to have a Triple Crown winner this year, but. He's awesome. I'm not sure he's going to run in the Preakness. And I'm not sure if I see any reason for him to run in the Preakness
There's
now.
no need.
Right? But
to be honest, I'm actually glad there's not going to be a Triple Crown winner because I don't want to have the debate of...
Right. Well, we've had a couple in the past, Justify and so forth. But it was a great race.
Yep.
Authentic. And like we said on the show last week, Art Collector, which had to pull out of the race, was a scratch. Look for Art Collector in the Preakness. That's my early favorite, not knowing whether 'tis the Law is going to run and so forth. But that was a great race. No doubt about that. And the U.S. Open, right? Dustin Johnson, we've talked about him on the show a few times. His inability to close, well, this time he closed. He took the Tour Championship, won the FedEx Cup, $15 million. And had Janet Gretzky run out onto the 18th green to congratulate him. Pretty good.
Or Paulina.
Paulina. Sorry. Janet's the mother, right? Yeah. I apologize. But he really, we talked about the crazy scoring system.
I was very happy about that because you and I think on the last show I was on.
We were pulling for him. We like him.
Right, but we also made the point of...
inability to close kind of thing.
So I'm happy Dustin pulled it off.
But that was awesome. I mean, it really was a dominating performance. But congratulations to him.
And like I think Dustin Johnson, is capable of winning 7 majors, maybe.
Well,
7.
we would think.
He's that talented.
He's been around for 9 years or so, though.
So what does that mean? He's 34?
No, he's actually has a tour win at least 12 years in a row. That's pretty notable for him.
Yeah, so
right?
he's early 30s.
Yep. So listen, let's get right into some of the stuff that's going on. We'll start again with the NBA playoffs because that seems to be, as we expected, right? LeBron James and then the Lakers, they're going to the finals, right? The NBA and Adam Silver and everybody else wants LeBron James in the finals.
Well, that's a foregone conclusion. I mean, they're up 3-1.
Right.
They play tonight. They'll finish them off.
What a disappointment these Rockets are. This Harden and Westbrook.
I mean, Westbrook's been hurt, but
allegedly, I think he's just a lazy ball player, and Harden can't do it alone.
Please, Harden can't. Listen, is Harden a really good basketball player? Obviously, is he a
Absolutely.
top scorer? Yeah,
Hall of Fame, no question, right?
But the intangible factor severely lacking. D'Antoni won't be the coach next year.
Nope.
They're the Houston Rockets. I'm not surprised by this performance.
Right, but what we were surprised, right? We talked about it. The Bucks, took an early exit again, right? And Giannis. Now the question comes up, where's he going to play right now? Right? I don't know, but
you got to credit Miami. The Miami Heat just kicked the crap out of them. And listen, Miami won the first 2 games before
they did.
Giannis sprained the ankle, resprained it, whatever excuse they want to come up with. I thought the Bucks were going to go to the finals.
Me too.
But I give Eric Spoelstra credit.
We talked about it on the show last week. Absolutely,
he's a really good coach. Miami, Jimmy Butler, Jamie Foxx look-alike, of course.
I didn't see that.
Looks exactly like Jamie Foxx.
Exactly.
Next time you see him, believe me. Oh, how did I not see this?
Got it. He played an unbelievable series.
So this is going to be a really good series. So the Celtics beat the defending champs handily.
They did.
And the Celtics and the Heat will be a really good conference final.
I don't know about handily. I mean, it went 7 games.
Defensively, I'm telling you, man.
Well, we talked about the Celtics. We like their talent and so
Jason
forth.
Tatum is turning into a top. He is. He's going to be a top 5 talent.
He's the second youngest guy to score like 25 points, get 10 rebounds, and 5 steals since Kobe Bryant in the year 2000. How about that?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That's an interesting fact. But the Celtics, I give them credit. Who do I favor in this series? They've both been playing really good defense. The games have been low scoring, but that's playoff basketball.
I think if you put it on
98 or whatever the case may be, it's not the NBA All-Star game. 168 to 159 type of nonsense.
Right. Exactly.
This is good basketball we're watching.
It is, and you know what? It's tough to pick a winner in this, but like I said, the Celtics, they got a lot of good young talent. I think if you look on paper, they should win. But you're right, Spoelstra and Butler and these guys.
What do you think the NBA wants in the finals now? A little Lakers-Celtic. Doesn't get any bigger ratings than that.
I guess, yeah.
No, not guess.
You're right.
That's the biggest ratings they're going to get.
Good marquee matchup in the finals.
Be outstanding. But each team's got work to do. So.
Right. And what? The Nuggets got beat last night. So, it doesn't matter, right? The Clippers are up, 3-2 now.
Clippers are going to win that series.
We know that, right, on paper. And this guy, Kawhi Leonard, like I said, he hasn't disappointed. The guy's a beast. He's a beast.
Yeah, so listen, the NBA, to their credit, they got 4 of the best teams in the finals, so good for them.
Yep.
And we'll talk about it next week. We'll see where things stand.
Okay. So let's talk about hockey, right?
Sure.
Which we love, right? Islanders were down 2-0. A tough Lightning team. You got to admit, this guy Kucherov, he's tearing it up. I mean,
he's really good.
So, but they bounced back last night.
Tampa Rangers.
Right, but the Islanders, right, with Callahan and how many?
Strawman, and forget about it.
But it's been awesome to watch. But they bounced back last night. They beat the Lightning 5-3.
Yeah.
So it's 2-1. Right, one more game, you're back at square one. Comes to the best of three. Couldn't get any better than that, right?
Absolutely.
And we've mentioned it before.
Is today a travel day from the hotel lobby back to the ice?
Yeah, it's funny, right?
But the thing is, these guys, when they go up to their rooms after an NHL playoff game, these guys are snoozing for
In a bathtub full of ice.
no doubt.
I mean, these guys are warriors.
boy, that ice machine on the floor really is working overtime, I would imagine.
Yeah, but it looks like whoever wins this series between the Islanders and the Lightning, the Stars look really tough to beat. But Vegas, hey, can't dismiss them.
Vegas
Expansion
is good,
team,
too.
only third year in the league, and they're
Vegas is formidable too.
they got a lot of
Dallas,
good players.
our NHL preview, I think we were leaning towards Colorado, or at
We
least
did.
I was.
Mentioned Nate McKinnon, what an unbelievable player that guy
Yeah,
is,
he's,
right?
he's really good.
Yeah.
But, so the NBA, NHL, really, they've done very
Starting
well.
to kick up,
But they've done very well adjusting to this COVID thing. I think they should commend themselves.
Absolutely.
So far, so good.
It's great. It's
Yep.
been great.
Yep.
So listen, before we move on to our next sport, right, which is back in the mix, just wanted to say thank you again to one of our sponsors, Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut. And again, as you know, loyal supporter of the show. Thank you, Captain Lynch. And let's move on. So it's NFL
Thank you, Commodore Lynch. Thank you, Commodore.
Muffy. Let's move on to the NFL, right? It started, right? We've had no preseason. There's been no hitting, so
The NFL started? Really?
Yeah.
Already?
Exactly.
Wow.
And of course, the storyline is Mahomes picked up where he left off.
No, you know what the
Two highest paid
storyline?
quarterbacks
You know
in
what
the
the
league?
storyline is after the game? Ratings were down 13%.
Yeah.
What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. Maybe because the NBA was playing that night,
It's the NFL. They normally blow the water. I think it has to do with the social thing.
No fans and so forth.
No, I think it has to do with these anthems and kneeling and all this other stuff. I think it's factored in. I'll leave it at that.
An undertone, if you
An
will.
undertone. That's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
And I'm not. Again, it's only one game.
I got it.
We'll see what the ratings are. Obviously tomorrow, but yeah, it's back. Mahomes didn't disappoint.
But a lot of new faces in different places, I guess is the best way to
especially
put
for Houston.
it. Right.
They made that big trade of Hopkins to the Cardinals. They got David Johnson and they got Brandon Cooks.
But they still lost by 14 points.
Right, but it's.
And I'm glad I didn't touch that game because I thought at least that the
I did,
Sean
and
Johnson
I
would keep it close. But Mahomes,
I touched it and my hand got burned on the stove.
Okay.
10 points. I'm like, you give me 10 points. I don't care if it's Kansas City. Anytime you can get 10 points in an NFL football game, I'll take my chances.
and now we know where guys say, you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes
Well,
like you never bet against Tom Brady.
That's
that
kind of the
thing.
lesson I learned.
Yeah.
But listen, Deshaun Watson, yeah,
He's going to be a good player. No
he
question
is a good
about
player.
it. But they gave him all this money and so forth. I thought they'd keep it close. But this, and I brought this up before, Steve, there's been no preseason, no hitting relatively. So
That's why I took
the first couple weeks could be a little.
But that's why I took Houston. That factored into why I just figured it'd be some sloppy play.
Yep.
And the guys, were rusty, and I thought it'd be a closer game.
Yep.
But listen, Kansas City, we talked about it when Mahomes signed his contract. They are probably, I'm going to go on a limb here. I think they're going to go back to back. I think they're going to win it all again. And I think they'll win about,
Bold statement.
I'll say 3 in the next 6 years. The reason I say that is because Andy Reid, we talked about on the show, 62 years old. He's going to coach. He's going to be there
Until they wheel him out.
until they wheel him out.
Yeah.
And the fact that Mahomes signed his contract, even though it's $500 million, it gives it flexibility. So
And they've been spending money all over
they've
the
been
place.
signing Chris Jones and like Kelsey got a big extension.
Right now, they're on paper,
They
right?
have the foundation in place.
Yeah.
And they're very talented.
And they're just,
And they have the best player in the league.
They do.
So I think if the chips fall right for them,
Well, that's why
I'll go with a back-to-back.
That's why they're the favorites to win it again. Because now didn't dismiss any theories because of
I'm
their
not making
performance
any
Monday night.
bold statement. Kansas City, back-to-back, but I
But
think they're that talented.
But this
and
Mahomes,
I would have to say they're.
Yeah.
They
This
got
Mahomes
good
to
shot.
Kelsey is Roger Staubach to
Billy Joe
Dupree and
Jay Saldi.
That's right.
Mike Ditka. Staubach to Ditka.
Yeah, exactly.
Who would you take in a fight, Ditka or the
The Bears? The Bears.
What would Ditka do?
You got it. But listen, so the NFL is happening, right? And we got, like I said, different faces, different places. Tom Brady, his first game against Drew Brees. First time ever a matchup with two 40-year-old quarterbacks.
Now, if Drew Brees throws an interception tomorrow, is he going to have to apologize after the game because he threw an interception and he didn't mean to throw it to the other team?
I got it.
I'm still upset with Drew Brees about backing off on that statement. When I say upset, disappointed.
Yeah, but
right?
there was no
If you
intent.
believe in something, I mean, come on.
I got you.
I get it. But
Talked about it.
I was just trying to make a point.
Right. But for two 40-year-old quarterbacks starting, first time ever in NFL history.
Gee, what would the closest be?
And I believe they're the two oldest players in the NFL.
Just trying to think off the top of my head, like
Earl Morrall versus Johnny Unitas.
that's exactly what I was thinking. Or like a John Hadle versus George Blanda.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's a pretty good one, too.
That type of thing.
I swear to God, I mean, it pains me to say, but I'm old enough to remember seeing George Blanda play quarterback. We couldn't have been 5 years old, but I remember it.
Oh, absolutely. He had a huge game.
This old man playing, quarterback, and now you look at Tom Brady today. It's
He
crazy.
had a huge game. 3 for 11 for 18 yards. No, I'm kidding.
That was funny though. That's good. Good memory.
But I do remember George Blanda playing
I do.
quarterback, number 16, Mr. Blanda.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I think I remember him playing for the Houston Oilers, though. It may have been his last stop, even after the Raiders.
No.
I would have to look it up, and I'm not looking it up. I'm just saying that was an interesting fact.
Houston Oilers. Houston Oilers.
Dude, that was the Earl Campbell years, and it was phenomenal. Phenomenal. Horrible coach, but phenomenal Earl Campbell in his prime. So listen,
Without looking it up, I'm going to say George Blanda played for Houston before the Raiders. Be my guess.
Okay. All right. We'll look it up. We'll get back to you. If you got a comment, please send it to us at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com. And a couple other things before we get off the NFL. Steve and I, let's make our one pick. I'm only going to pick. I'm not going down. Normally, you and I pick 2 or 3 games, and then we see what happens. This week, it's opening day. Let's pick one week. Here's my surprise lock of the week. And I'm going to...
There's no such thing as a lock.
Exactly, not in the NFL. But I'm going with the Patriots to win by 6.5 over Miami. In
Foxborough?
Yeah.
And who won the quarterback competition?
Cam.
He did.
You did.
Who did I say was going to win the quarterback competition when we talked about it a month ago?
I don't know. Jarrett Stidham.
I think you said he was going to.
I did. I'm the one that said he was going to sign with the Patriots.
Okay.
But anyway, that's just, again, it's opening week
Historically, Miami plays very well.
in Miami against New England. That's the problem.
All right.
I don't think they beat them up in Foxborough.
So
But that's my one pick of the week. You got a game?
I'll give you a game.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills to beat the New York Jets by
I believe that's
touchdown.
6.5 too.
6.5.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, listen, as you know, I've been a big supporter of this Josh Allen, and they're all talking about it. He could light it up. Even my Bills fans that I've talked to that weren't crazy about him, I said, be patient with this kid. Now it's his 4th year in the league.
Yeah.
I look for him to break out.
Another game would be most likely. I think a safe play would be the Steelers and the Giants Monday night.
Yeah, Steelers.
Big Ben's back. We don't know what the Giants will be. But I got to tell you, Joe Judge canceled practice or made him start over.
I know.
3-4 days ago.
He's playing the Sergeant Carter from Gomer Pyle routine.
But
right?
you know what? We're Sergeant Carter from Gomer Pyle type of guys that
I got it.
as coaches.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think this guy, listen, Giants could be a disaster this year. Perhaps. But you know what? It's a year where he's evaluating the
But
players.
you know, it's a little bit different in the NFL than it is in college football.
No question.
Right? I mean,
But my point is, I think
these are paid professionals that say, I don't need to go through
well,
this.
that's the point. He can't. He stopped practice 25 minutes into it. Are you kidding me? These players, right? What are they? So tired and exhausted from doing what?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Calisthenics. That's
Yeah.
it. Yeah, and they're tired from
No,
that.
but my point about Judges, Giant fans, be patient. I think 2-3 years, I think the ship will be turned around. I think Joe Judge is going to be a pretty good coach.
Listen, I'm very happy with him, and I'm excited about Jones and watching Barkley. But be honest with you, I'm going to say the Giants, they win 8 games. Would be a good year.
Yeah, I think the over/under for them is 6.
I think the Jets win 7.
Yeah.
Right?
Jets, Jets.
Yeah, if Sam gets mono again, then we got Joe Flacco waiting in the wings.
I can't wait to see if Gase has the beard this year.
Of course he's going to have the
gonna
beard
go
and the
beard.
hoodie, the
He'll
very
go beard,
disheveled
hoodie.
look, you know.
Yeah.
The quarantine look, which he's had before the quarantine.
Yeah, right.
Listen, last thing I wanted to bring up.
No, but I think Buffalo brings the wood to the Jets.
I like their chances, but again, with Belichick and Cam Newton, I'm going with them on my pick of the week. All right?
My beloved Dallas Cowboys, even though it's Mike McCarthy's debut,
I want to talk about them.
I'm gonna take the Rams
Okay.
because it's in LA.
But there was a thing with Dak this week and so forth, and one of our, let's say one of our favorite targets, because we caught him, forging his, phony in his resume, Skip Bayless. After Dak came out and said he was, during the pandemic, he was anxiety-ridden, depressed, whatever. Skip gives him the business. He's got to be done finally, right?
This guy is Skip Bayless. I really don't know how this guy's been employed and taken seriously as a sports writer and a valued opinion for over 20 years.
And I'll never.
He's the guy who quote unquote outed Troy Aikman because Troy Aikman 25 years ago said,
went to the prom with just his buddies.
But the point is, Troy Aikman probably, in the hallway, probably told Skip Bayless where he could, pound salt, right? And Bayless then had a vendetta, and he spread this rumor about Troy Aikman. Okay, listen. My only point is, Skip Bayless to me has been a complete, utter farce. It's like
and fraud.
It's like Fred Edelstein back in the day.
I had dinner with Carol Rosenblum.
Right, so for our older fans, right, he was Mr. Inside everything.
Right, now he was inside the big house.
So me, myself, Jim, and my brother Tom, all 3 of us would be. I had dinner with
Wellington Maryland.
Get out of here! What are you kidding me?
Right,
that type of thing.
Exactly.
So I hope Skip Bayless gets.
But I just wanted to say that it was
comeuppance.
I mean, with all the statements that are being made about the social thing and everything, this was different. This was a guy saying, I'm going through a tough time, and he tore him apart. But my favorite Skip Bayless memory is when Stephen A. Smith, it was a young Stephen A. Smith, this is like 10 years ago, called him out saying, your resume says you were starting linebacker on this college football team and you never even carried a trumpet,
Who the hell are you, Skip Bayless?
It was great. I don't know how the guy ever recovered, but Skip Bayless is not going to be on Sports with Mono and Mono because he has no credibility. That's what we take pride in, our credibility, right? But it came down. I like Dak. He's struggling by on $31 million this year.
Yeah, but that's the point about Dak Prescott. Listen, This kid is a solid character guy, Dak.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I know everything about him as much as I can.
Yep.
His days at Mississippi State, his mother, died of cancer. He's very close to her. He's very close with his family. Dak is a good guy.
Yeah.
Like a character guy. So yeah.
And they're going to sign him long term. You feel comfortable with that, or are they going in a different direction? I'm asking a Cowboy fan.
No, we talked about this. We got to see this year. McCarthy has to have a year of Dak, and if McCarthy signs off and says yes,
I like what I see. We'll go with it.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's playing under the tender.
You're thinking Mike McCarthy has that much influence on Jerry Jones?
I know he does.
You think?
Without question.
Well, that's what they promise, of course. But this Jerry Jones is a bully owner.
All I'm saying is McCarthy will give his opinion, which is valued.
Which I like. I like Mike McCarthy.
To your point, of course. Is he going to listen to him? Of course not. He may or may not, but yeah, I'm not naive to the fact that, right? I know Stephen Jones actually, probably would. Jerry again is getting to nut house stage.
But let me ask you this: assess your prospects for the Cowboys season. What do you foresee for them? Do you like what you've seen? There's still a lot of turmoil, and they're renegotiating guys' contracts to fit money in.
I think they're talented.
They cut Clinton Dix.
Yeah, we have some injuries.
What are you thinking though, from an overall perspective on the season? What do you would 10 wins be?
I think 10 wins the NFC East. 11.
It might be 10.
It all depends on injury. Right now, Cowboys Sean Lee's out. Big shocker.
Yeah, that's never happened before.
Listen to me. I love Sean Lee.
I know, but stay on the field.
Stay on the field. Lael Collins is out. We have some injury problems right now. I am curious to see if Aldon Smith is
You're not.
what he
You're,
was.
you're not putting your hat in that ring, are you?
I'm curious to see
All right.
this guy is as productive.
I think you'll know what you're going to say.
And listen, if this guy was productive as a complete psychopath that he was, can you imagine if he's clean and everything?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
All right. All right, 10 wins for the Cowboys. That's coming from Mono.
That would be, I think the Cowboys should win the division. The Eagles, the Redskins are the Redskins, and the
disarray.
Giants are,
They're not
the Giants
going
are the Giants. So I'm banking on Carson Wentz. I don't know, breaking a shoulder. I don't know, week 6, week 7, of course, tearing a knee, ankle, whatever it may be.
But the good story would be, I'd love to see Alex Smith take a snap as an NFL quarterback one more time. I mean, I told you that E60 thing was so powerful, and how could he possibly come back from this? But
he's back.
Because Haskins isn't leading the Washington football team to the promised land. Let's get that out of the way.
No.
Right? All right, so listen, Steve, let's talk Major League Baseball, right?
Well, let's stay on football, college football.
All right, well,
we touched on it briefly.
Go ahead. Opening weekend, kind of.
I mean, it's different. No, is it opening weekend? Yeah, it certainly doesn't feel like it to me.
Not at all.
A Notre Dame Duke?
Right, well, they always get the one cupcake a year anyway,
Clemson, Wake Forest, we got,
in front of what, 10,000 fans maybe, right?
I think like 16 is the max.
All right, you're right.
Something crazy like that. But, it's here. Am I happy there's college football in a semblance or shell of? Yeah. Am I watching it? Yeah.
But
this is,
let me ask one question about college football.
There'll be no crowning national champions, in my opinion.
The Big Ten commissioners, and they all voted to cancel the season, and now that's not off the board. I mean, it's possible that they're fighting to play. Is it possible Ohio State's going to play fall football? Is it possible?
Now, no.
Then why the big uproar? Why is it even open for discussion? Either you shut it down. We talked about it on one of the previous shows. New York.
Let me just clarify. I mean, Big Ten football. Ohio State.
I'm specific.
Like we talked about Nebraska. Throwing that out. That we're not going to play Big Ten, and then we'll go. we'll take our bat and ball and we'll go play somewhere else, type of thing.
Yep.
But
look,
just doesn't have the feel.
I agree.
I don't know how else to verbalize it.
But I actually mentioned it on last week's show. Connecticut, no high school football.
Yeah.
And now today, New York, no high school football.
I heard that too.
So, where does that leave New Jersey? Right now, they're the only ones that are going to play. What's it going to look like? We don't know. But you're right. College football, it's a different feel, right? The NFL, it's the same kind of thing, right? They play, the Bucks play the Saints, and it's week after week for 16 weeks, 17 weeks. But as far as college football goes, right now, Clemson's the best team. They got the best player in the country, right? Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, they also got the best running back, this Travis Etienne. Let's not forget about him. He came back for his senior year. This guy is a beast.
He's pretty good.
No,
He's
they're loaded. I mean, Clemson's loaded.
All right.
But, yeah, college football's back. Clemson's playing Wake Forest today. I think the spread is over like 30-something points. So you got to think Clemson would absolutely destroy the Demon Deacons.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. But, yes, you're right. And there's one other thing I'm going to mention about college football, but we're going to get to that in a little bit because we want to talk about Major League Baseball before we're getting close to the end of the show. So, the Yankees, right? The team we thought was going to be, 59-1, right now they're fighting.
You thought that. I thought they'd be a lot better. But we talked about, listen, I'm saying the Yankees and Dodgers we thought were clearly the two best teams.
Yep.
Now the LA Dodgers, if you look at their records, they are 30.
They're good.
35 or 34-12.
And Mookie Betts played second base the other day. How about that? Right.
And the Yankees are a complete disaster.
I watched Garrett Cole pitch a gem yesterday.
Okay.
Watched the whole game.
Yeah.
This guy is one of the top. And DeGrom was
Yeah.
pitching for the Mets at the same time, flipping back and forth. Thank God for the remote controls.
Those two are outstanding.
Right. They're phenomenal.
But, as far as I know, Gary Sanchez he hasn't gotten over 200 yet.
Oh, over 200?
I'm
you know
kidding.
what he's... But didn't we mention this? I said it takes him 60 games to get going. He
That's
could
fine.
possibly hit 140. He's hitting 118 right now.
Well, that's good because guess what? You ain't getting a contract from the New York Yankees. In fact, I think this is a great thing that finally, after this, I don't know if it's
Contract
next,
year?
whenever it comes up,
Right.
take your bat and ball and go home
Yeah.
because I cannot stomach him anymore. I like Luke Voigt at first base. He's a good kid.
I know you do.
And he's having a good year.
Torres is back.
LeMahieu is
Awesome.
outstanding. Gleyber Torres has had a tough go of it. He got hurt, but
He's back.
even before he got hurt, he didn't do anything.
He came back.
And he's not really doing much anyway. We've talked...
Tanaka pitched another good game, too. I like him, too. So
But
we
we talked ad nauseum about, if you can't have a healthy Stanton and a healthy Judge in the lineup, you're not the team on paper that you thought you were.
Exactly.
And also the pitching is not exactly Jim Palmer and Mike Cuellar and
Well, we're calling Tanaka. I think he got two solid starters, but Happens and Paxton, they're hit or miss.
Well, that's it. Paxton is Giancarlo Stanton for Christ's sakes at this point.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Did we give up much to get him? No. What did we give up? Justice Sheffield? Okay. Right.
But anyway, so that's happening. Tampa Bay's been hanging on, and the Baltimore Orioles got to be the surprise team in the American League, although the Yankees swept them last night. So.
Yeah, but the point is, Baltimore is finally turned the ship as far as they couldn't have played any worse baseball over the last 5-year period.
Exactly.
So the Orioles are an important franchise. I never disliked the Baltimore Orioles. I always had
the tradition of the Baltimore Orioles.
We were Earl Weaver guys and Palmer.
We had 420-game winners back in the 70s.
That was my point about pitching.
Yeah.
With the,
Yep.
when I referenced Palmer and Cuellar and McNally and those guys.
Yep. But baseball's happening and so forth. But there was one, Mike Trout hit his, the fastest he's hit I think it was his 16th home run. Fastest he's hit 16 home runs in a season, and he just became the Angels' all-time home run leader. You know who he passed?
The Angels' all-time home run leader.
Yeah. He had 299, and Mike Trout hit his 300th home run last week.
Don Baylor.
No.
I would say next.
It's a tough get. I'm not even putting you on the spot. I'm going to give you the answer because it was tough. I might have said Brian Downing or something, you know.
As a catcher, there's a chance of no.
Yeah. Probably been retired for about 10 years. Don Baylor was a good guess, though. Don Baylor was a good guess.
Angels, 10 years retired.
Anyway, Tim Salmon. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
299.
Top of my head, I wouldn't have gotten.
Nah, that's a tough get.
Yeah.
But
I'm
baseball.
Go with Lyman Bostock. I'm kidding.
Nah, played for the Twins first, didn't he? Yeah. But listen, real quick before we move on to our final segment, the U.S. Open, right? Serena didn't get there. Talked about it last week. She made the semifinals, but she got knocked out by Azarenka. It's been pretty good, but you gotta really like Naomi Osaka's chances. She's a class act, that kid, that women's tennis player. And on the men's side, Dominic Thiem. I like him. He's been kind of due. He's been like a Dustin Johnson waiting to break out.
Yeah.
But while you had Djokovic, which I want to talk about real quick, I thought it was outrageous he got disqualified
Those are
for
the
it.
rules.
Exactly.
Sorry.
So I can't
Was it
say
intentional? No.
it totally wasn't intentional.
But those are the rules.
I got it.
Tennis is a gentleman.
But that threw off the whole men's league, the whole men's division, because he was going to win it. But now you got a chance like Dominic Thiem. That's my pick for the U.S. Open final. Okay. Serena's out. Osaka wins it again.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right, Steve. Let's talk about our final sponsor first.
Of course, is Di Filippi's Bakery of Monticello, New York. And you're in the Catskills, and you're in Monticello. 10 minutes, not even from the casino. Yep. Stop in, see Carmela. Mention Sports with Mono and Mono. Get a little discount. And it's the best baked goods probably in the country. Yep.
And before we
Thank you for the sponsorship.
Absolutely, very loyal and quality establishment. I got a little shout out. It's sports related.
Yeah.
The Carrier Dome in Syracuse University.
Okay.
A lot of my Niagara buddies are Syracuse guys, and they worship, and we use the term "Orange, you proud," right? Dismantling it, took the roof off, and but it's a memorable stadium. It's the largest covered on-campus stadium in the country.
Yeah.
And the history of it, I think it opened in 80, 81. And I've been in that.
Was it 80? It might have been late 70s, I think it goes back.
Yeah,
it could be.
Yeah, I think Syracuse.
Roosevelt Bowie years for basketball.
No, but but they're putting a new roof on it.
80 sounds about right.
Right. But this was brought up yesterday by my Niagara boys. These guys worship it. And I've driven by it 1,000 times on the way to Niagara Falls.
I've never seen it.
It's right off the thruway. There it is, the Carrier Dome. It's been there. I saw the Rolling Stones, and I saw Dan Marino as a quarterback at the University of Pittsburgh play the Orangemen in that stadium. So I got some memories there.
Don McPherson for the Orange?
No, this is way before that. Way before that.
I guess you're right.
Way before that.
Yeah, I guess.
I think Dan Marino might have been a freshman or a sophomore at Pitt when I was there.
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, I wanted to mention that for our Syracuse Orangemen fans. A couple of facts. Largest attendance for a basketball game in college basketball history, 35,000. But it's just a monumental stadium on the Syracuse campus.
Well, I mean, it was the record. I mean, believe me, 35,000 is not the record There's not a chance.
I don't know. I think that's I'm tying it to the Carrier Dome anyway. That's what I said. At the time.
At
maybe.
the time.
Let's go at the
Yeah.
time.
Right.
All right, but anyway, I wanted to mention that and our notable passings, and I'll let you lead off because it's somebody that you and I watched as a player.
Yeah, we're gonna definitely lead off with Mr. Lou Brock.
Yep.
And I don't think
Not just the base stealer.
No, but I think you and I'm going to assume you and I didn't appreciate Lou Brock as much. We were young.
As we should have.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Like, well, we thought, when you heard of Lou Brock, what did you think of?
Base stealing.
Stolen base.
Base stealing.
938. Ricky Henderson, obviously, is the all-time king. Yeah. 3,023 hits. Not bad.
Awesome.
Originally a Chicago Cub.
Yes, he was.
1961 to
He played 3 years or something for the
61
Cubs.
to 64.
Yep.
He had 900 RBIs. He had 293 homers. He had 149 homers.
And a class act to boot.
A very class act. And
Gentleman of the sport.
his number 20 retired, and he was inducted in the Hall of Fame in 1985.
Yep.
Played 19 years. Lou Brock was a great person.
Yes, he was.
And baseball player and a bona fide Hall of Famer.
You bet.
R.I.P.
And, Steve and I are very strict when it comes to that. You mention somebody's name and say Hall of Fame. Lou Brock, you go, absolutely.
Next. Totally.
Very good.
So the next one is a baseball executive. Gene Budig. B-U-D-I-G. And I remember Gene Budig. And what he's famous for is he was the last president of the American League from 1994 to 1999.
The last president of the American League.
So when you think of presidents of the American and National League, who's the first National League guy you would think of?
Connie Mack?
Chub Feeney.
In our
era, right? Yeah. And you think of Lee McPhail, guys like that, that type of
when
thing.
Bowie Kuhn was the commissioner.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
So Gene Budig was actually very close with Roy Williams, the North Carolina basketball coach. But Gene Budig passed away, so we wanted to acknowledge him.
Notable.
And then in the world of entertainment, I'm a big James Bond fan.
Yeah.
So Diana Rigg passed away, and she was
in her 80s, I think.
82.
Right? 82.
And she passed away. She's famous for the Avengers, first and foremost.
Which I can't say I've ever seen.
With Patrick McNee.
Yeah, can't say I've ever seen.
And she was on Her Majesty's Secret Service with George Lazenby when Sean Connery was holding out for more money and decided not to.
Wasn't that George Lazenby's only appearance as James Bond?
Yes, it was. But Diana Rigg was the Bond girl in that.
Gotcha.
And then recently she did Game of Thrones for a lot of people like that show. So Diana Rigg, R.I.P. at 82, and I think that pretty much covers our notables, unless
now I have one from the world of entertainment, and you and you're going to say
breaking news.
Kevin Dobson.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Crocker. On Kojak.
Totally. Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Big, supporter of the military, ex-army guy or something.
Fan of Crocker.
You bet.
Totally. Knots Landing he was on, too.
For 10 years he was on Knots Landing.
Right. He
played Mac McKenzie.
Yeah, he was Michelle Lee's husband, bitch.
Television husband. Yeah.
Television bitch.
There was always kidnappings and in suburban California.
We know Michelle Lee wore the pants in that relationship.
But I thought you'd be...
Crocker.
And that's our Kojak.
Crocker.
Stavros.
Totally.
But Kevin Dobson was a good actor, had a great career.
70s?
Yeah, late 70s. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one. Jim actually held that one.
I did.
He was going to break it before the show, but a good call.
I wanted to do the spontaneous Crocker impression. That's why.
That's good.
I blew it. But anyway, listen, welcome back, partner.
Thank you.
It's great to have you, and there's a lot going on, and we're very excited about all the playoffs and so forth. But
Good stuff.
please feel free to send us an email at sportswithmono@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. You know, our fans are out there, and I know our Mike Garvey down in Naples is psyched about the U.S. Open tennis finals this weekend, and lots going on.
So what? Mike's wearing his white shorts and his white shirt. Is he going with the white sneaker look, with the white sock look, all white?
Yeah.
Going with the short shorts, Mike, or are you going to go with the baggies?
No, he's just going to sit there and watch it like we've been doing for 50 years.
Right.
It's great. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Steve, welcome back, and we'll talk to you guys next week. Enjoy the opening weekend of the NFL and the playoffs that are going on, and thanks for joining us, and we appreciate it.
Yep.
Be good.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.